From public to privately owned, from state-funded to individually run. We meet entrepreneurs, public officials, and mom-and-pop shops. Join us behind the scenes for exclusive interviews with determined individuals on their road to success. We are the Mitten Roadshow, and this is Wayland.
So today we're at Pet Klips right here in Wayland, right next to the railroad tracks. And I'm with the owners. You guys are the owners, right?
Yes.
Correct. And it looks like there's quite a staff in here. I mean, when you come in, there's kind of a small entrance, but back here it's like, I mean, it's like a warehouse of dogs. I mean, there's dogs everywhere, really. And how did you get into this business? I mean, is this something you've always done, or?
I started training dogs when I was really young. My Aunt Debbie helped me get started with my dogs, and that's who I am because of her. We trained and showed dogs, and I went to school in 2003 to be a groomer. Mm-hmm. And I worked for them instructing at Paragon School.
Okay.
And we decided, me and Brian decided that in 2006 that we wanted to start our own business instead of grooming with for other people.
Gotcha.
And that's when Pet Klips was launched.
Cool.
And we were down there.
By Bentley's Party Store. We rented, it's a pizza place now. We had 2 spaces
Oh, okay.
in there, and then
It's kind of outgrew it a little bit.
yeah, and I was working construction, and we just decided, I had an accident, got buried underground, and
Sure.
got hurt, and wasn't going to be doing that anymore. So
Yeah.
I came on board with her and started helping her, and she could do more. And as things started growing,
Yeah.
it got busier.
So when
and
you
busier,
started,
and
was it just like you guys and no one else?
It was just me at first.
for the first year, was it?
Yep,
Yeah,
for the
about a
first year. I still remember the first 2 dogs I groomed. It was a pit bull and a poodle that walked in our door the day we opened, and just kind of went from there and grew and grew and grew. I mean, we are truly blessed. I mean,
Sure.
it is a thriving business today. I would say we have close to 10,000 clients.
Wow.
And then after we just started, Brian, he came in to help me because I couldn't do all the big dogs by myself. So we were working at night as well. I mean, we were working anywhere about 50, 60 hours a week.
We'd do crazy dogs, big dogs, things like that. When I'd get
Yeah.
done working construction, I'd come meet her, and we'd work till 8, 9 o'clock at night down at the other shop.
Gotcha.
Right.
So like the big dogs, like my kid is a huge fan of Pinkerton, and it's like are those big Great Danes over there? Or,
Right.
Yeah.
Man, just tell Pinkerton to sit. He jumps out the window. It reminds me of the same exact dog. So
Right.
We were in that shop down there, and then when I started helping bathe, so she was getting more dogs done. Well, we kind of outgrew it.
yeah.
She wanted to hire, but we couldn't.
So
until
what
we-
made you decide this location? Was it just offices you converted, or?
It came available,
Okay.
and we got a really good deal. We moved into this building in 2012, and after that we hired our first groomer. She has since then moved on.
Okay.
And then we had another groomer that had moved to Florida, and she's gone. And then Maya came and Shannon came.
Okay.
And
So how many groomers do you have on staff right now?
we have 4 groomers,
Okay.
2 bathers,
Gotcha.
and then who else? That's it.
And a lot of dogs.
A lot of dogs. Right now, we're presently grooming in our busy season, which starts the end of February till the end of August. We're grooming about 100 to 130 dogs a week. We're here Tuesday through Friday.
Gotcha.
And yes,
And then the weekends
there's a
too?
lot of long days, isn't there,
A lot of long
Shannon?
days.
Sometimes you're like, oh, I'm supposed to be out at 4, but it's 9 o'clock.
Exactly.
People ask when we close, and we just say when we run out of dogs.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
So you try to schedule
yeah.
around that too. So if you try to
Yeah.
schedule them all in the morning or afternoon and then.
Right, it's just kind of a system that we have because we couldn't do the quality work or the amount of dogs that we do without a system. We have so many dogs come in the morning for drop-off time.
Gotcha.
And then,
So let's say I'm going to call you and say, so how does it work? I call Pet Klips and I want to make an appointment.
okay,
Walk me through the
I
process.
would ask you, would you prefer early morning? If you do, our drop-off time is between 8 and 9.
Okay.
It typically takes at least 2 hours for the dog to get done, and sometimes we run over because if we're really busy. But we have so many dogs come in early morning,
Okay.
and then we start staggering them. We have some come in at 10, some come in at 11, some at noon, and so forth.
Gotcha.
And then,
Then, of course, some dogs are going to be here longer, like your Labradoodles and standard poodles and things like that.
Because they take
They
longer
take
to drive.
longer.
So that'll be the next question she'll ask you is what kind of dog?
Yeah.
Because
What
that makes a
kind of
big
dog?
difference what we can do and when.
because for instance, if Whiskey came in, we wouldn't be able to keep up with the dogs doing him all the way through.
Gotcha.
So what we would do is we would do part of him, give him a break, do another dog.
Gotcha.
Get him back out, give him another break, and
So and
that's
the
what we
break
do
is
with the
the break is
doodles.
for the dog too.
Oh, absolutely,
Okay.
because these dogs, I mean, it's a
They're
lot
tired.
of stress, and it's already a stressful situation, and it gives the dog time to, take a breather.
Yeah.
To go from the tub to the dryer to
Sure.
a full groom, I mean, that dog would honestly be on the table for 4 hours straight. And
Gotcha.
that's too much for him.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it's like work. You're just standing there in one spot and
Right.
You know.
And some dogs stress more than others, and that's where you need to learn their behavior, learn where they're at. I mean, you have fearful dogs, you have stressed dogs, and then you have dogs that you have to be careful with. They have
Sure.
an aggressive side to them.
or they might have like an older dog that's got an open wound.
Yeah.
Or a bad hips or bad
Yep.
knees, and we gotta work with that dog and what its needs are.
So everything
There's
we
a lot of dogs we do on the floor because we don't want to keep them on a table for
Sure.
very long.
Everything we schedule is like that too, though. If we know we have an older dog with issues, it's going to take 2 of us. One of us will hold him while
Gotcha.
the other one grooms. Then so that we take all that into consideration when we schedule.
So is there a favorite kind of dog? I mean, I'm sure everyone has their own like personal favorites.
Well,
Some people
personally, all of us like all the Chihuahuas and the Pomeranians.
Okay.
I'm just being funny, but because they're the easier dogs, of
Gotcha.
course, to do. The more hair we have, the longer
Gotcha.
process it is. But I don't know. We have a lot of favorites.
So this is like a
Don't
giant
we?
Pomeranian right there.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
So what do you do? I mean, I know you cut hair, but there's a lot of stuff that you do here besides just cutting hair. I mean, I heard you on the phone. You're talking about cleaning certain parts of the dog and blinging out some stuff, dyeing some hair. I mean,
We dye the hair. Well, with every groom, we do nails, express anal glands, clean the ears.
Okay.
We do the basic care with all of them. And then we do their haircuts, we blow them dry. We do all kinds of extra stuff like the bling, the color.
so that's something they add on.
Them
So
are-
if somebody was like, "Hey, I've got a girl dog.
I want
and
pink
I want
ears."
pink ears." I wouldn't even think of that. Like pink ears or pink nails or whatever, right?
Right. Yes, we do. We paint nails.
Okay.
All the nails. I will say we trim and grind them
Okay.
to start recessing the quick and keep the nails nice and short. And then yes, we'll add the nail polish and the bling and stuff like that.
So when we talk about like added services, what's the most expensive thing you guys purchase for your thing? Is it dog biscuits for your business?
It's a toss-up. Color's kind of pricey. Color's something we don't really
You mean
recover.
as the extra
No,
stuff?
for your side of the business. Like, what's your most expensive cost?
Our shampoos
Okay.
and that's a big overhead.
Okay.
The electric bill,
Oh, I
the
bet.
dryers are
Finish
quite
sprays,
something.
basically, our product is pretty
Okay.
much your biggest thing.
Gotcha.
You know?
Gotcha.
And color, like, you never recover your color. I mean,
Sure.
it's like $12 for a small jar.
Sure.
You charge a couple bucks, you can go through 2 dogs, you can use up a jar, so you don't. But it's
Yeah.
more of a thing to do because it's cool. you
Yeah.
know?
And
Like
one
you got
of the-
one painted like an Easter egg.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's so fun.
It is a lot of fun. It is very time consuming.
Yeah.
Realistically, for our pet owners and stuff, we'll do color tails
Okay.
and color ears. But when you get into big color jobs and stuff like that, a lot of dogs wouldn't have the tolerance for
Gotcha.
it. We do our own.
Or you want to do ears and it ends up half the dogs that color because they wouldn't sit still. Things like that, which
Yeah.
happens. So
That's funny. So what's the hardest part about your job? Or any of the groomer's jobs, really?
It's the more hair we leave, the more scissor work. That
Like around the eyes?
around the eyes and stuff like that, and the more hair we have, the more work it is. I would say the most difficult thing is working with dogs with behavioral issues.
Okay.
That's the toughest part. Safety is number one for us and for the dog, and not to overstress them.
Gotcha.
So
So there's probably times where you have to like put a muzzle on the dog because
sometimes we really very rarely have to use them, and if a dog is past a certain point of aggression, we don't no longer groom them because it's just not worth it
Sure.
for
Usually-
the dog or for us.
usually in lieu of muzzling, we can usually put 2 of us on.
Gotcha.
One of us to baby
want
them,
to distract.
coddle
Hey,
them, talk to them, to distract them. The other most stressful thing for the groomers, or for me or Kelly if we're roughing a dog in, is extreme matting. I mean, it's dangerous for the dog.
Gotcha.
It's very stressful to get it away from the skin and off the dog
Okay.
if they've gone way too far.
Without
And that's
cutting them.
So
you know.
that's when the dog has gone way too long for the haircut.
Yes.
Like preventive care is should have been happening 2 weeks prior to this.
Right, and a lot of pet owners, they just don't understand. It's innocent. They just don't realize how critical it is and how it affects our job, because
And it could affect the dog.
especially
and the
if a
dog especially.
Bacteria growth.
yes,
and all.
if the dog waits too long, in between grooms, they're scared when they come in, and you're dealing with all kinds of issues, separation anxiety. Then
Yeah.
you have a dog that is matted really bad, and they're all stressed out on the table. It's tricky.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to work with that dog and get the hair off without cutting them, and which we have not had very minimal injuries in 13 years.
Gotcha.
But stress-wise, with all the girls, that's to do that is by the time you're done and you didn't injure the
Well, it's not
dog,
like
it's-
you're talking to a human and saying, just hold your head up, stay straight.
Absolutely.
We wake up in the
Dog-
morning, we know we're going to get a haircut.
Yeah, exactly.
Your dog
The
didn't know
dogs
he was
don't.
going to get a haircut.
Yeah, he thought he was going to the park, and next thing you know, he gets dropped
And,
off at a stranger's
it is
place.
deceiving because you hear a lot of people talk about, oh, the dog's going to the spa or whatever, but there's a lot of dogs that come here that are excited, they like it, they enjoy being
Yeah.
here, but then you have a lot of dogs that are like, my mom's going to leave me. So that's, the
There's fear.
separation
Yes, that's it, too.
anxiety, and then if it's loud in here and they don't like baths and they don't like the dryer,
They don't like other
it
dogs.
creates, yes, absolutely. So you got to work. Every dog has individual needs, and
So, have you ever, speaking of like not liking other dogs, has there ever been a situation where, let's say, Whiskey over here is not a big fan of Easter egg? What is the dog's name over there?
Murphy.
Murphy. So, if you can't tell Easter egg over there, he's the little tiny. Is it a poodle?
he's a Bichon Shih Tzu mix.
Okay, so it's a tiny dog that looks literally like an Easter egg. It's pretty cool. But let's say they don't like each other. Do you try to cut one over here and the other one over there? Or when
Nobody's
you're
ever
here-
allowed to nose or run together unless we know them
Gotcha.
for certain. Like dogs that have been coming here forever and we know them really good
Gotcha.
and they're good and stable temperament.
Okay.
Then that's
Kind of like the
different.
dogs just sleeping over here.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
But
like a dog lounge.
yeah,
Just
we
hanging
don't
out
let
there.
nobody knows or mingle or anything because
Okay.
it's not worth it. Because even if you have the nicest dog and a very social dog and you bring it places and it's a great dog,
Gotcha.
when it comes here and it's under stress, under the grooming process, the dryers and all that, they're different here.
Yeah.
Where their behavior could be a little different
Mm-hmm.
towards other dogs or people or anything, you know.
Whiskey just having a great
Unless you
time.
have a whiskey.
Whiskey, if you didn't see it, Whiskey actually had a goatee before I got here. A little braided goatee. That's fun.
And she
So-
unbraided it, now it's wavy.
So what's the best part about the job?
All kinds of things. Our connection with our owners.
Okay.
They trust us. We spend as much time with an owner as possible. But the connection with owners, I guess, and their pets, in their faith and trust in us is number one.
Sure.
And us being able to, there's so many people that touch our lives.
Yeah.
And that we get to know in the friendships that we've gained. It's, yes, we all have bills and we all need to make money and that we are a business and have to pay these bills, but to have that connection with the owners, I think, is my favorite part.
Yeah.
In their animals and stuff. I
Well, I
can't
mean,
think of another way to
A
work.
dog is basically someone's child too.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're in the
and they
house.
trust us and they bring their dogs here and you know, we want them to be very sure that they are in safe
Yeah.
hands, that we do everything we can to make sure we get the job done good and with the dog's best interest at hand.
So we talked a little bit about how you take care of the grooming and the cleaning of the anal glands and all that other stuff. Now, there's other things you do too. You do dogs for displacement too, right?
Yep, I've been doing dog rescue since 2006.
Okay.
When we opened, actually, and I had a couple customers that couldn't keep their dog and asked if I could take them and find them homes, and that's what launched that. So now I offer placement services for people that get sick or people going through a divorce or hit hard times.
Well, let's
Sometimes
say the owner passes away.
yes, or you know, we have foster homes
Excuse me,
that
I
we
take care of this guy out there that's on his phone calling us.
we'll take on dogs. We have foster homes that we place dogs in. Although sometimes the owners will foster them,
Okay.
basically, and the dog will go through our adoption process.
Okay.
All the girls here help me with this. We do home visits, we do reference checks, we get the dogs
Gotcha.
vaccinated, vetted up, microchip before they leave. We do meet and greets with not just one family, but more than one, because sometimes there's a better connection with this
Gotcha.
particular dog with this owner.
Yeah.
And we don't want to have the dogs be rehomed again. We want to find that last home
Sure.
for them dogs. And so we do it as safely as possible because there's a lot of predators out there that are looking for free dogs for bad things.
Yeah.
And so people trust me to help find these dogs homes. And
Great.
you know, Shannon does some home checks for me. Maya's one of my fosters, and then we have a few others too.
And then they also, you do some Pause for Cause stuff too, right?
Yes, that would be Kelly's department and Maya. They're both paws dogs. Kelly does breeder dogs where she
Okay.
whelps the puppies and raises them for paws.
What is whelp? What does that
It
mean?
means delivery.
Okay.
Okay, mama
Gotcha.
goes into labor and having the
Gotcha.
baby.
Gotcha.
And so she just got done with the litter
Okay.
and they left. And then Maya has raised how many, Maya? 9?
Yeah.
Wow.
9 paws dogs.
Wow.
So we are connected with them a little bit, and we do offer like free nail trims to paws,
Sure.
and just to kind of help a little bit, that we can.
So where do you see the future of Pet Klips?
I see huge.
Yeah.
My goals are big.
Do you think about
Um,
another location or possibly
I would-
altering here?
Well, we would have a very minimal space to grow,
Okay.
building wise. My ultimate dream is to have a bigger place where we can have more groomers, have more be able to possibly do daycare and boarding.
Okay.
But that's down the road.
What about
you know.
training too?
Training? Yeah, we've offered, we wanted to do like a summer class in our parking lot with some basic obedience and stuff.
Okay.
For people. I also have interest in getting back into teaching advanced students some advanced training for groomers,
Gotcha.
for grooming, to where they just need a little extra help before they get into the real world of this, because there's so many dynamics that goes along with
Yeah.
this, and it can be very stressful for new green groomers, and they need help along the way.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested in kind of following through and helping some kids that get out of school just starting to groom, and that I can help them as well as Shannon and give them some advanced training.
Gotcha. When a dog comes in, walk me through. Yeah, we already talked about what you do. Now walk me through life in the dog in here. Where does the dog go from room to room to room?
When they first come in, we go over the haircut with the owners
Okay.
and what they want to see, and then from there they go back into their kennel, wherever we put them, into the kennel room. And then from that point, Kelly or Brian or Kathy take them and they bathe them, and they put them back in their kennel to drip for a little bit.
Okay.
And then then we'll go get our first dogs to start, dry them, do the haircut, and then the dogs are going through the process back there with Kelly and Brian, getting bathed and blown off and all that. They're the foundation
Sure.
of what keeps us going, because if it wasn't for Brian and Kelly and Kathy bathing and drying for us, there's no way that we would work the way we do as
Gotcha.
a team, because we couldn't be doing this by ourselves. And the result of to have a good finish, you need a clean dog.
Gotcha.
So if in a very well dried dog, and that's where they come into play, and they get these dogs clean and dried and prepped for us to be able to give them a good finish.
So back in the washers, and then they dry, and then they come up here and get a haircut,
Yep.
and then they go back to
Then
the
they
kennel?
go back to their kennel, and then somebody will call the owner and say that they're ready.
Okay.
Or some dogs have a pickup time. If we're not if we're not busy and we know when the dog's going to be ready for sure, then we'll just give someone a pickup time.
Gotcha.
But like your bigger dogs like this, or bigger haircut dogs and stuff, it's always usually a call when done, like the doodles and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. Very fun.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks for taking the time to let me come in here today and meet your staff. My dog personally comes here, so
Yes, and we
it
like
definitely-
Winnie.
It definitely means a lot for you to let me come in your house. So
Yeah.
don't forget to like Pet Klips on Facebook, like This Is Wayland, and we're gonna give away. What are we gonna give away this time, Tanya?
We're gonna give away a large dog haircut,
Okay.
and a small dog haircut, and several nail trims.
Okay. So we're gonna give away a large dog haircut, a small dog haircut, and we're gonna give away 5 nail trims. So all you have to do is like, share this, and then comment what kind of dog you have, and we'll pick the winners in 1 week. So thanks again from This Is Wayland. This is Anthony out. See you later.
Perfect.